G'day again, wonderful listeners. This is episode 22 of Trev's Talk, and I'm your host, Trev. Last week I spoke about stepping out and having a go when you come up against challenges. That's the only way to move forward and grow. Going back many years to 2009, I started getting GBs, my word for goosebumps, on many occasions when I heard people speaking about writing books. I got so many instances of GBs, it made me start my journaling, and it's wonderful that I did, because I now have a record of everything that's ever happened over all those years. In addition to that, when the COVID pandemic lockdown stopped me and my 24 volunteers from conducting programs and projects at the Aboriginal school in our area, I hit a period with very little to do, but I remembered the many occasions of GBs received over writing books. A feeling of some urgency came upon me to knuckle down and write a book about my life from before visiting Medjugorje, experiences at Medjugorje, and my life after Medjugorje. I knew I had to write with complete honesty and include occasions of dubious behaviour and emphasise that I was far, far, far from perfect. I believe that the purpose of showing an imperfect quality was to show that Our Lady could use anyone at all, to do her work. Also, in my first encounter with the Holy Spirit on day one at Medjugorje, I had telepathic knowledge given to me that the Holy Spirit had massively empowered water contained in a bottle I had with me. The water could be used to help the sick after I was involved in some serious publicity, which has not yet happened. When it does happen, and I use that blessed water to help the sick, it needs to be understood that the blessed water healings were gifts from God. They had nothing to do with imperfect me. I am merely the distributor, and that needed to be clearly shown in the book I was prompted to write. The COVID lockdown came in March 2020 to interrupt my work at the Aboriginal school, and I started learning how to write a book using my computer in a way that prepared the manuscript ready for printing. I did not want to use other people, like editors, etcetera, to prepare a manuscript, as that runs up severe costs. So I spent several months writing, and when ready to come up with a cover for the book, I had a vision of Archangel Michael towering over me, sitting with the bottle of Holy Spirit blessed water resting on my knee. The printers were able to do the cover just as I had envisioned. I then had a limited edition printed to coordinate with Australia Day in January 2021. When I needed to come up with a title for the book, it came to me that I should use Journey with God as the main title, words which truthfully embody my life. And as a subtitle, I should use Medjugorje Miracle, which embodies the miracle of the Holy Spirit empowering the water I possessed in my encounter with him. I have not distributed many books so far. I have given talks on Medjugorje and my experiences there to some small groups now and again, and offered my book at those talks. The feedback received has always been encouraging, and I now believe it is time to make an effort and give more talks and distribute more books. So last night there was a meeting at my branch of Catenians, a social club I am a member of. I gave a short presentation after a meal to the members present, and nearly 1/3 of them bought a copy of my book. One of the men there, a prospective new member I had not met before, mentioned to me when buying a book that he had had spiritual experiences from his childhood and was receiving GBs while chatting with me. I am looking forward to him calling me to chat about his experiences, as he took my number, and I wonder if chatting to him will develop into something more significant. The meeting last night was my first one for many months, as I have been delivering meals to needy families in the evenings, which made it very difficult for me to attend. The new prospective member who got GBs when chatting to me was attending for his first time, so it was 100-to-1 shot that we should both attend at the one particular meeting when I would be giving a talk and offering a book. This makes me think I should give more book presentations to other Catenian branches. You, wonderful listeners, might like to purchase a copy of my book also, and if so, you can order one at the Medjugorje Centre website, which is www.medjugorjecentre.org.au. Another interesting event follows my telling you that I was knocked back from getting a position on Radio Fremantle's board in episode 21. That pretty much meant to me the end of getting on the radio to talk about Medjugorje, but since then I was in conversation with a friend, Anthony, and when I mentioned to him about losing a chance to be a radio board member, he said, "Wait, Trev, you might be able to get involved somehow with the Christian radio that broadcasts to hundreds of thousands from here in Perth." He called it Sonshine FM 98.5. So I looked that station up, found their email address, and emailed my interest in getting some sort of involvement with them. I now wait for them to reply. It was a bit weird how this Christian radio came to my knowledge. That's interesting. One door closes and another opens. I should hear something from Sonshine FM fairly quickly, and will let you know what they say. A few weeks ago, a young lady from America called Lauren donated on our website to Our Lady's charity, the Medjugorje Centre, and asked for some of my Medjwater, which of course I sent her. After she received it, she emailed me to say she was sending me a surprise and hoped it would not get broken in the mail. She gave me the tracking number so I could track it from the USA to me. Well, it arrived last Friday, and it was a beautiful picture of the Holy Family in a nativity scene. Joseph, Mary, and baby Jesus in the stable when he was born. The picture was made up of hundreds of tiny coloured beads attached to a backing sheet. There was a photo with it and a card telling me of Lauren's story. I believe Our Lady prompted Lauren to send me the picture, which took months for Lauren to do. I've arranged a picture framer to put the picture, her photo, and her written story all together in a nice frame, and will hang it in my office when ready. I wonder if Our Lady is sending me a message. Could she be telling me how a family should be? I remember being taught that Joseph and Mary were in a traditional marriage, and those thoughts made me remember a couple of instances where I was bestowed with serious GBs. One instance is in my journal on the 23rd of February 2010, which states, "On my morning walk, I thought a lot about how much I owe Our Lady. I really owe her everything, as she led me to go to Medjugorje to have my experiences with the Holy Spirit. When thinking of how she intercedes for us, like in the wedding at Cana, I was given strong GBs. I think this means I should use that story and its implications when giving talks about Our Lady. Maybe it is her that gives me the GBs." End of journal entry. In that instance, Mary gave Jesus a bit of a push to change the water to wine for a wedding celebration. She and Jesus must have thought it good to reward traditional marriages. Anyway, wonderful listeners, I leave you now with those final thoughts until next week. Don't forget, you can comment on YouTube and Spotify. Subscribing is good also, so please do so. It helps me to grow listeners. This is Trev, tuning out for this week.